And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Today we're taking a look at XOBrainer, which is really a terrible name for a game. But it's about making 5 in a row of X's or O's or colors. That's interesting. I like that. I will say that this look here isn't really selling me on the game. This looks like a game from the thrift store that I would find as a kid. But hey, you never know. This says it. You can use a web app with it. All right, modern. In this game, one player is going to be X's and green, and the other person is going to be circles and pink or purple. What you're trying to do is you're trying to win 2 games of this, or 3 games of this. First person to do so is the winner. You're going to put 4 of your pieces here. You'll notice that the X player has X's that are green and pink. You'll put 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 over here. On your turn, you take a piece and put it somewhere on the board. Your opponent will put a piece on the board. And you're going to continue to do this. What you're trying to do is you are trying to get 5 in a row of your shape or your color. So let's see this. Once players have placed all their pieces like this, then you'll refill these. So essentially you have to play a piece of your opponent's color once every 4 turns. So then X just went, so now it's the O's turn. I'll go here. And then X will go here, and O will go here, and X has 4 in a row, and O can't block him. X wins 5 in a row. So when this happens, when you get 5 in a row, you're going to look at the dots underneath them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points, that's what X gets. You can see, so if you go to the outside of the board, you're going to get more points. In fact, if you ever go on these spots here, you automatically win the round. However, you can never put your color X there or your color O. It has to be your opponent's color that goes in those spots. That's the rule. Once someone hits 20, boom, you reset and you win 1 game. First person to win 3 games is the winner. Now you can do more than this if you want to. The game comes with a web app. Unfortunately, it's not an actual. It's actual not an app. It's one that's on the web, and I always find these a little bit more of a pain to work with. So this one here is a timed app, and you just basically hit it when you have pieces. But there are other things that you can do with this. Actually, yes, I want to end the round. Yes, I want to end the round. The game is over. So when you go to a new game here, you pick what kind of things you want to have. So maybe I want to have traps or maybe this, and you proceed, and it will tell you to draw some cards here. So you draw some cards. These might be secret goals that you are trying to get on your turn. If you get your pieces in these, you'll score goals. Or these can also be used for setup positions where you set up, and these are just basically where you got some starting pieces on the board. And then you play very similar to the same thing. And that's how you play. First person to win 3 matches is the winner of the game. This board and these pieces really have an old 1970s look to them. The game comes with a bag for the cards. It comes with a bag for the O's and X's. So those are nice, and it fits in this really thin box, which once again just has this old 70s look to it. The cards themselves are black border. You can see they're already beat up, and I barely touched them. They're okay, the cards. And then the app, like I said, the app itself is okay, but because it's a web app, it's just not going to, it just doesn't work as well as I'd like it to. I would prefer it to be an actual app. As far as I can tell, there's no sound on it, and it's not necessary at all, for sure. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is very unfortunate. You know what? have you ever, when you were a kid, you played tic-tac-toe and you're like, ooh, let's, tic-tac-toe. And after a while, you're like, oh, no one can win tic-tac-toe. It's always going to end in a tie. Well, let's make a bigger grid and play tic-tac-toe on that. And you found that the games ended really quickly because the first person who didn't notice the other person had 2 in a row would win, or whatever it is. In Connect 4, if you ever let someone get 3 in a row, they're going to win because they can put it on either side. That's the way this one is. It doesn't feel like there's any strategy. You're just constantly playing a defensive sort of game to make sure your opponent never gets 3 of the same color or 3 of the same shape in a row, and you don't really get to set up anything cool. There are a lot of great abstract games out there right now, so the quality is high. This one's not there. It's not winning on pieces. It's not winning because it has an app. Who cares? And it's not winning on even the uniqueness of this. I've definitely played games like this before. This would have been a fascinating game to me, I think, if you played as the X's with 3 green X's and 1 pink X, and your opponent played with 3 pink zeros and 1 green zero, and then you were X's and pink. Well, now we're talking about a completely different game, right? As it is, since most of your pieces are of your color, and then you have to play it every 4th turn, that's just a clunky way. And then where there's those on the board, you get points. That just feels like a whole bunch of clunkiness, but doesn't add any strategy to the game. Starting positions, secret places to put them, who cares? None of that really matters. It comes down to just being a tic-tac-toe thing, and it's too wide open to offer any real interesting or clever moves. Now, I'm sure that if someone here who's an XOBrainer, professional, if there are such things, and possibly there is, because this game was created by the Danish Brain Games, so I'm assuming they're very smart and they know this. They'd be like, play us and you'll never win. Well, maybe that's the case. But I should feel like there's some cool strategy to the game, and I don't. I should feel like there's more into it, and it just isn't there. The app doesn't really do anything other than add a timer. The cards and the pieces don't look that fantastic, and there's lots of cool games where you get 5 in a row already. Pentago, for example, very simple one where you're trying to get 5 marbles, and you put one out and then rotate. That's it. And it feels like, wow, there's a lot of depth in this game, but it's really simple. This one's really simple, but doesn't feel like it has the depth. So, nope, not for me. Dice Tower Judgment, too boring.